English.
That time McDonald was leading the way for the block, but Vaughn came in before McDonald could get in and make a hit. And that was a loss of close to 7 yards.
It's going to be 3rd down and 12 now. And Vaughn did a good job of getting inside before the blocking could really take formation and got a hand on the ankle. Here's a quick pitch. Conley looking to get to the outside. Gets hit and knocked down. Kenny Todd finished him off.
Coach Perone talked before the game how he hates to use McDonald, shipping him back into the backfield because he's such an effective blocker. So they're trying to sweep with McDonald out in front. But Lynn English is doing a good job of stringing it out and not really letting Salem get any yards at all on the rush so far.
Good job by English in the first defensive stand, and Salem will have to kick away the football. Toops gets the kickoff. Fielded by Nickerson, his 30-yard line. Dances across the 35 to about the 36. So it's at the 36-yard line. Nickerson gets a pretty good return. And they're going up against a pretty good defensive team, Salem is, with the Bulldogs. The first unit has not given up a point this year. English has won 13 out of their last 14, 9 out of 9 at home. And they're looking for their 3rd straight win over Salem. Something that hasn't been done since, you folks at home remember this, Tippy Johnson was in the backfield for English.
1956. It's going to be interesting to see how well Brian Vaughn does today. He's considered one of at least the top 2 or 3 backs in the league, but last week against Danvers, he was held to 42 yards on 12 carries, so we're going to see if he can break out a little bit against Salem.
Well, Gary Millay has said time and time again, he's got to get somebody to help Brian Vaughn out. Nickerson, Warren has been doing the job. He's been outstanding the first 2 ball games, running and throwing the football, and Kenny Todd has been a pleasant surprise as well. Again, Vaughn, quick opener, that burst of speed. Stays on his feet, finally gets knocked down by Joey Toops. But a big first down out to the Salem 46-yard line.
Huge hole that time by Bob Kempton and Tony DeCopoulos. They just, as you can see right here in the replay, just blasted home, a huge hole, letting Vaughn walk through there.
And once he gets up ahead of steam, he's tough.
That was great, great hole.
All he needs is a crack. That time he could have drove a truck through that hole. Warren, the quarterback. The quick out, looking for Miguel Vasquez.
That time he hurried that pass a little bit because Miguel Vasquez was getting open, but he kind of hurried that pass. He had a little bit of pressure on him.
Well, this is first year of quarterbacking. He's had 2 games under his belt, but it's still extremely tough for the young man. That's the stuff he's got to learn. He can throw the ball deep, but he's got that little touch pass. You got to do some work on that kind of stuff, and he's going to get nothing but better as the season goes along. Vaughn, the lone running back now, behind Warren. Todd to the near side, Vasquez to the far side. The pitch, Vaughn looking to cut it to the outside, but he couldn't get there. Satterwhite did an excellent job that time.
Nice job by Satterwhite coming in there and getting into the backfield almost the same time Vaughn got the ball. As you can see, also helped out by number 41, Eric Stellato.
Satterwhite got a piece of him first. He looked like he was going to get to the outside and he had some room, but Satterwhite slowed him down and then had some help making the tackle, so he moves back to the 47-yard line, 48-yard line. Warren rolling to his right, looking to throw the football. Downfield, in and out of the hands of Vasquez. Wouldn't have been enough for a first down.
You mentioned how he has a strong arm, and he showed it right there on the run. Flung that out there 15 yards, a nice strong pass, just a little bit beyond his reach.
So both teams taking turns holding on defense. It'll be English's turn to punt the football now. That'll be Mark Nickerson as Joey Toops goes back. It's strange to see the quarterback going back, and we talked to Kenny Perone about that. He doesn't like to use them, but desperate times take desperate measures, I guess. Nickerson with a nice kick drives Toops back inside to about the 7-yard line, inside the 10. Loose Dave Commandall makes the hit. Dave Commandall did a good job. He was actually blocked down and got back up on his feet and made the tackle. So a good job.
Kenny Perone said he hates to have Joey Toos back there. But you also have to think that Gary Malaya kind of hates to have Joey Toos back there too, because he's so quick. He's one of the fastest players in the league. He could break at any time.
I mentioned that to Coach Kenny Perone. I said, pluses and minuses. You don't like a quarterback, but anytime he touches the ball, he could get 6 points for you. The pitch to Conley, looking to the right side. Cuts it back up inside, gets hit and knocked down. Gained a couple. Tiggs is in there to help out with the tackle.
It's obviously early in the game, but Salem has had 4 runs, and they've gotten really not much yardage off of the runs. Lynn English so far has done a good job of stringing out those sweeps.
Conley coming off a big game last week. He had over 130 yards rushing, I believe.
2 touchdowns against Marblehead.
Fake pitch. Joey Toops straight ahead.
Nice job by Toops that time. They had gone to the pitch out play 3 times in a row, so this time they faked it. That held the Lynn English defense for just enough time for Toops to break it up the middle.
Yeah, good job by Joey Toops. And the hole was there up the middle with everybody pursuing to the outside. So it's a first down for the Witches outside the 35. We'll call it the 36-yard line. Again, all the motion in the backfield. To give to Conley. Big hole up the middle. He's loose. He's going to get caught from behind. Nickerson with the stop.
A lot of talk about Vaughn for Lynn English, but also Connolly. He's another one of those backs. As a matter of fact, Gary Malaya said that he's probably one of the top 2 or 3 backs in the league.
He's a fine running back. He just not quite. You see the replay here. It's Nickerson finally dragging him down from behind. Just a step or 2 away. A little more speed on that play. He was gone. Flag on the play. I think this is going to cost Salem. Looking for Gibney downfield. He was wide open, but the pass is overthrown. And I believe it's against Salem for motion. When you see the flag in the backfield like that, now we get the sign from Donnie January. But there you see Coach Kenny Perone. He gets 100% of whatever he has. Run, and they sleep. And all of a sudden, Gibney was wide open down deep, and Joey Toops just overthrew him.
Ken Perone's been a coach for 18 years. He comes up with a few of these over the years.
You don't win 200 games not being a good coach, I'll tell you that.
It'd be a big morale boost for Salem if they could come down here and score early.
Toops keeps looking downfield. He's got a man there. It's McDonald. McDonald dives forward to the 20-yard line. It'll be a first down.
That's not a bad target, 6'3", 212. And that's the second time they've connected for a decent gain.
Well, they've got a lot of weapons they can throw at you. Toops is a very good quarterback. You got to worry about him running the football. That puts a lot of pressure on the defense. Salem's 3rd first down in 4 plays. They're at the 20-yard line. They give to Conley straight ahead. Keeps those legs going. Drives inside the 15.
What a great run by Connolly. He was hit about 3 yards in the back, 3 yards downfield, and he just kept dragging plays another 6 or 7 yards. He's a strong, strong back.
Pete Licciardi made the stop, and he's been another find for English. He's been playing great football defensively, and he's had a linebacker's dream. He's thrown a pass for a touchdown this year. Conley again, this time off his own left side, gets the first down to about the 10-yard line.
Nice mix so far in this drive. They had the pass, a little bit of passing, a little bit of running. They're really mixing it up nice here.
The ball is just inside the 10. We'll call it the 10. Toops now. We'll see the motion in the backfield as Conley becomes the deep man in the eye. Toops with the fake. Rolling, trying to get outside. Looking to throw the football. Now he turns the corner. looking for the end zone, got hit hard and knocked out of bounds.
Looked like it was Miguel Vasquez who hit him that time. But that was just a pure case of speed by Joey Toops. Looked like he was caught in the backfield, and he just tucked it under his arm and swung outside wide right. He got that down to the 1-yard line.
He just gave that little fake as though, like a little pump, like he was going to throw the football. And that froze everybody, and then he was able to turn the corner and pick up 9 big yards. They're down to the 1. It's 2nd and goal for the Witches.
What do you think, Connolly here?
Connolly off the left side for the touchdown.
Why not? When you weigh 215 pounds and you got 1 yard to go, it's not a bad choice.
A great drive by the Witches, 77 yards. And English, the first unit, gives up their first points of the season. But English got a lot of weapons, too. I don't think this game is far from over. These teams always have barn burners.
They're going for the 2 points.
They go for 2. Again, Connolly behind George McDonald. Little mix-up in the backfield. The ball is dropped, and the points will be no good. 77 yards they go, Jerry. 9 plays it took them. A real nice drive. They mixed in a little pass, mostly on the running of Scott Connolly. 2 big plays. You see the touchdown by Connolly, the replay off the left side. And I'm sure it's been something that Gary Millay has been thinking about all week because he runs extremely well.
Connolly had a 28-yard run to set up that touchdown. Also, there was the pass to McDonald. And that was a nice little mix-up there. It was mostly run, but with McDonald going from the tight end position, that's twice that Joey Toops has hit him tonight.
I'm breaking everything in sight, trying to get the bug out of here with a bee flying around us. I let Jerry talk. I get out of the way. Okay, we straighten that out. It'll be Salem kicking off. Going back deep for English will be Mark Nickerson to the near side. Vaughn is the man in the middle. Vasquez to the far side. Giovanni Gonzalez will do the kicking for Salem.
Well, Salem hasn't had too much trouble on offense this year, as far as you can go back last week, winning 40-6 over Marblehead, and they strike with 3:51 to go in the first quarter. So it's going to have Lynn English thinking a little bit.
Vasquez inside the 15, about the 13-yard line, straight upfield. Big hole, he's loose. 1 minute beat. The kick. Joey Toops just got an ankle around him. A great run, just went straight ahead. Nobody laid a hand on him. He was just about to step away, and Joey Toops just got a hold of his ankle and knocked him down.
Great speed that time by Vasquez. Look at the replay. He picked it up on the 25-yard line. He just tucked it right up the middle. Nothing fancy. And if it wasn't for Joey Toops with that tackle, we'd be all tied up at 6.
Yeah, Joey Toops was the safety in the play. He just laid back, and it's a good thing he did. Otherwise, English was in the scoring column. Brian Vaughn. That's the sign of a good runner, Jerry. Now, it's not just his speed that he gets to the hole quickly, but he's very tough to bring down, as you just saw there. He picks up a first down to the 36-yard line. A big 11-yard gain for Brian Vaughn. The give to Vaughn again. Cuts it to the outside. Breaks the tackle, stays on his feet. 1 man to beat. Cuts it back inside. Caught from behind.
Another nice run by Vaughn. He showed nice balance there because he was close to getting hit. About 2 yards downfield, sprung it wide right. We'll take a look at the replay. Right there, number 82 just missed him twice. He breaks the tackle, goes downfield, and once again, Joey Toops had to come up with a little hit, and then he was tackled
Zagorowski finished them off, but Salem wants to talk about it with 3:08 left in the first period. But he is so exciting a runner that he's that ability. Not many runners have it. Timmy Frazier had it. Dick Geron had it. I remember Pistol Pete Pedro had it. He could stop, cut on a dime, and it's such a great attribute to have. And coaches will be the first one to tell you, it's God-given. Nobody teaches that. Otherwise, there'd be a lot more people doing it. But he's just got that knack. Plus the fact that he's a very tough kid. If you don't hit him low, you don't bring him down. If you hit him up high, he's just going to bounce off and keep going.
Well, that time he did bounce off the 2 Salem defenders that could have had him with just a 5-yard gain. And it is an interesting blend he has of both speed and power. He's tough. It's tough, like you said. It's tough to bring down.
No question about that.
That's why he's considered one of the better backs in the Northeastern Conference.
And if he cranks it up, that's going to put all that much more pressure on the Salem Witches defense, because then they've got to, if they start keying on him, then they've got to worry about Nickerson and Warren and Todd and Vasquez. And Nickerson now is the deep man behind Commandol. The give to Nickerson. Off the right side, gets good blocking out front, down to about the 10-yard line.
That 35-yard kickoff return by Vasquez is awful. He's going to loom awful big. It's a big emotional boost. Salem comes down and marches on you, 7 plays, scores a touchdown, and then you come right back with a big run like that. That's obviously going to help.
Well, yeah, it's a big boost in the arm for English. Because you're a little bit down when they score, and that run gets you right back up again. So you don't really have time to be down. Vaughn trying to kick it to the outside. Nice cut back in, stays on his feet, dives in the end zone. A great run by Brian Vaughn. He makes 11-yard runs look exciting, Jerry. I don't know what it is, but...
That's because he's an exciting back.
I mean, he should have been tackled 3 or 4 or 5 times, and he winds up in for the touchdown.
There was an interesting comparison you made to Tim Frazier, because he did look an awful like Tim Frazier. Look at those cutbacks, and then right there just powers his way over.
There you see both sides of Brian Vaughn. The play was cut to go to the outside. He was going to the outside, stopped on a dime, cut it right back up to the inside, and then took a couple of people with him as he went into the end zone.
Carried Zeb Zagorowski into the end zone, who's making his first start at cornerback for the Witches.
We've got whistles, and now we got a timeout English.
They were going to go for the 1-point PAT, the kick, but now they're going to think about it.
Ron Nam would be the kicker. We're getting that right this week, Jerry, because last week they told us that number 34, according to the program, was Kum Trong, and we called him that for until the second half, when we found out it was Ron Nam. But I wanted to make sure everybody knew that we were told that it was Ron Nam. Michael.
You gotta be low and hit the tight end.
So English has been over the sidelines. The defense has been over, as you saw, talking to the defensive sideline to the Salem coaching staff. So both teams have figured out what they want to do. And Ron Am looked pretty good kicking the points after. I'd be surprised if they went for 2.
The pressure's not really on them right now. They're gonna
go for 2. I'm surprised.
Go for 2 after thinking it over. Gary Maleo took the kids aside. Even though Salem only got 6 points, they didn't make their point after conversion.
The give to Vaughn. Shows you what we know. They went in for 2. As usual, we were right again. Vaughn went just to the right of center, found a hole, and he went mid-air for the last yard and a half or so. So Vaughn gets 8 points, the touchdown and the 2 points after.
Do you think Vaughn had it in him to do that when he went back to the sidelines after the touchdown and said, "Hey, coach, let's go for the 2. I'd like to carry it in there"?
Could very well be. And I know if I was Gary, I'd listen to him the way he runs. But that's it. We talked about a big boost for Salem when they came down, scored right away, and it certainly was. That emotionally, you could see they weren't really into it coming at the start of the ball game. But that touchdown seemed to pick them up quite a bit. They're still thinking about their comrades in arms, Bobby Raymond and Joey Carenti, who went down. And Bobby Raymond, we talked to him before the game on the sidelines, and I know he's hoping to get back for Thanksgiving Day, but we'll wait and see about that. But now English, that gives them another shot right back because they come back, answer the challenge, and go on top 8-6.
And they did that drive in just under 1:20 seconds too, which is really an emotional boost for them to get that big run back by Miguel Vasquez.
Bounces around on the ground, still loose. Hey, Jerry, this is amazing because we had it in the Danvers game where the kick just laid dormant and nobody went for it, and it was falling on. Then in the Salem game, the same thing happened. It was blown around. Salem recovered 2 fumbles in a row on a kickoff. You see Satterwhite finally getting a hand on it, holding on to it.
That Danvers game was something else. Malaya was saying after that game, I was trying to yell to my players, jump on it, but I didn't want to yell too loud because Danvers would know. Nobody would touch the ball.
Yeah, that's true. We got another timeout on the field. English, I'm not sure what it was for, but you very seldom see that play where the punt, it was a kickoff actually, but they played it like it was a punt, let it roll dead. Danvers, luckily for English at the time, it was at the English sideline, so as you said, Gary Millay could instruct his players to fall on it. In the Salem game, Salem scored 3 touchdowns in 73 seconds. They scored, they kicked off, the ball laid just on the ground. Salem recovered. Joey Toops went 43 yards. They kicked off. The kickoff was fumbled. They recovered. It took them 3 plays. And it was just positively amazing that the amount of points so quickly against a pretty good Marblehead team.
We have with us Mike Grenier of the Salem News. Mike, let me just ask you one question if I could. How do you think Salem's going to overcome the 2 injuries?
I think it's going to be very tough for them. I mean, we've seen already tonight, they've missed some tackles that maybe a couple of those kids would have made plays on. And the way Brian Vaughn is running, I think you could have Lawrence Taylor out there right now, and he'd have trouble. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but, Vaughn is looking much better than he did against Danvers last week.
The big play there, this may be how they overcome it, the defense, by maybe controlling the ball with the offense. Joey Toops on the rollout, he's got a choice of either running or throwing the football. That time he chose to throw it to George McDonald, and it's out to the 39-yard line for a first down.
That's been a nice combination in this game. This is the 3rd time today that they've connected Joey Toops to McDonald. It's kind of funny. Kenny Perone before the game was worried because he had to shuffle McDonald around, but he might have found himself in permanent position there at tight end.
That's for sure. Toops with the pitch. This is Conley. Runs into a stone wall. Derek Brum was the first man to hit him. Lachati was there as well. They lost a little bit on the play. Tony DeCopoulos was in there to help Derek Brum out. It'll be 2nd down, and we'll call it 11. Conley straight ahead. Out to about the 45-yard line.
Mike, there's a lot of talk about Brian Vaughn, obviously, because he's such a good back, but what about Connolly?
He looks like your prototype, strong up the middle kind of back. He gave him a big 30-yard run on that last touchdown drive. So far, he's been very impressive. Both running attacks, look good right now.
Sure do.
3rd down, and we'll call it 5. Big play here for Salem. And Toops doesn't like what he sees. He calls timeout with just about 30 seconds, depending how close Freddie Latour is on the clock. I always have to get Freddie in every game we do. Depending how close he is, the clock says 32 seconds as Salem calls a timeout. Toops saw something he didn't like and wants to talk it over on the sidelines. Good shot of Joey Toops. And here's a young man who's made an impact on Salem High School sports. I've always talked about Michael Giotti winning 6 straight Northeast Conference titles. This young man, as a sophomore, come in has won 3 in a row. Baseball, basketball, and football, so he's got a streak that he could beat everybody's if they keep going. And with Brunson on the basketball team, the odds are pretty good.
Very tradition in Salem, 3 sports stars.
Well, I talked about this with several people over there, and they say the same thing. When you're winning, winning permeates winning. You get to a winning tradition, it's not hard to have kids come out to play for winning teams. The hard part is, that's why I give a lot of credit to the teams that are not winning. It's hard to keep those programs alive than the winning programs, because everybody wants to play for a winner.
Well, that's a factor with Lynn English for years. They weren't a winner, but with Clark Crawley, they turned them around, and now, so far, Gary Maleo has kept that tradition the last 2 years.
Troops with a couple of nice moves, but it's going to work to his disadvantage. He's going to wind up losing yardage. After going to the sidelines and discussing it, they thought they'd run the same play they ran before, the fake pitch to Conley, hoping for the middle to clear up. But I think what happens is this Bulldog defense is very, very tough. And you fool them maybe once, but you usually don't fool them twice.
Well, Gary Maleo was the defensive coordinator before he took over this year, for Clark Crawley as the head coach position. So obviously he knows his defense, and the Bulldogs have been tough so far in defense their first 2 games.
We get the whistle that that's the end of the first quarter. So an exciting first quarter it was. These two teams battled it last year for the co-champions of the league, and they're almost as even right now. 8-6, English on top after 1. We'll be right back.
Fosse's Dynasty Limousine and Ticket Service is your ticket to special events or sporting events. In order to serve you better, we have combined the resources of a luxury limousine service and a catering facility with a full-service ticket agency. One simple phone call to 598-4203 is all it takes to put you in touch with all the entertainment packages we have to offer.
So if you need a limousine for any occasion or tickets for any event, whether it's family, sports, or concert, give us a call at Fosse's Dynasty Limousine Service at 598-4203.
Fosse, it's for you.
Thanks, James. Hi, honey. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'll pick a pizza up at Fosse's. All right.
As we come back to Manning Bowl, John Huff along with Jerry Paracella. It'll be Salem kicking to English to start the fourth quarter. Fielded by Nickerson along the English sideline. Does a good job of getting back to about the 35-yard line. They're going to mark it at the 34-yard line. So pretty good field position for the Bulldogs. And they'll put in play from the 34-yard line.
This is going to be interesting to see how Salem defense responds now after that last drive by Lynn English.
Warren, the quarterback. The give to the first man through. And that was Ron Arm. And what happens when you start keying on Brian Vaughn is you get a lot of other people hurting you. It's a first down out to the Salem. Look where they're going to mark the football. The Salem's going to take a timeout. And just as they take a timeout, it'll bode well for us because walking in the booth, we can talk to is Michael Giotti from X of Salem. Michael, how's things going at Harvard?
Real well, real well. We just started football, as a matter of fact, about 2 weeks ago, and our first game's next Friday, and we got about 80 kids going out, so it's a lot of fun out there.
Are you going to play? I mean, I know you're going to run the team, but I mean, are you number 1, number 2?
There's 8 quarterbacks right now, and tomorrow we're having a scrimmage, so we'll find out tomorrow who the top 3 are. And it looks so far it looks good for me, myself, Morgan, and another kid, Rob Roebuck. So we'll be the 3 that'll be working the most.
It's not going to be the same for people watching TV3 Sports this year, not seeing and hearing the name Michael Giotti, basketball, baseball, football. It's like we may accidentally use your name in a couple of games anyway, just assuming you're out there.
No, there's a lot of good athletes out there now, and as I can see with the score the way it is, that Salem is much improved from the first week I saw them. So they got some athletes that can really play with English this year.
Tough for Salem to lose those 2 kids. I know they were friends of yours. Bobby was on the team last year. Joey Correnti was a baseball player as well. It's kind of a unique situation. I don't think I've ever seen 2 players on the same game break a leg.
No, I called up Saturday to find out how the team did, and my mother said that Correnti and Raymond broke their leg, and that Correnti was going to be out for 3 months, and Intercepted. No. Carenti broke his leg and be out for 3 months, and that Raymond broke his leg and be out for 6 weeks. So she called me the next day from the hospital, and she called me from Joey's room, and I talked to Joey for a little while. He seemed down, but just talking to him, you know, I think he needs a lot of support just to stay in it mentally, because it's going to be tough now being out. But it's a tough break for Salem, and it's a tough break for the kids overall, losing those two.
Well, Michael, it's good to see you back. I know the kids are happy to see you on the sidelines rooting for them. We wish you a lot of luck at Harvard, and make sure you let us know how you're doing and keep us informed.
Okay, thanks a lot, Mr. Hoffman.
Okay, good to see you. Vaughn trying to get to the outside, get shirt collared, and knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
The play before that, Warren was going for Ken Todd. Looked like about a 35-yard pass in the air, but broken up by Joey Toops, who nearly had an interception.
He made a great play on the ball. We first thought it was an interception, but as he came to the ground, it bounced loose. But Warren really hit it out. He throws the ball really well. We go shotgun right now, English. Warren looking to run the football, cuts it up inside. Uses his blocking really well to get down the 30-yard line for a first down.
Nice downfield blocking by Dave Spofford, too. Gave him a few extra yards and went down as a receiver.
This is like the old single wing that English used to run. You see, he hesitates, gets a good block from Commandal there, gets a block right there from Spofford. Just enough a piece of the play so that he can get down to the 30-yard line, pick up the first down. And I'm not sure that wasn't a design play. I'm not sure that they even were thinking of throwing the ball on that play.
No, that looked like that was, like you said, a design play.
Nickerson off the right side, inside the 25. They give him the 24. We'll give him a pickup of 6, and we have a player down. And I'm sure what happens now is every time the whistle blows and they tell him that somebody is down for Salem, Coach Kenny Perron probably gets 2 more gray hairs.
Matt Canny was coming off, but he's running off the field, which is obviously a good sight.
Again, he would be a tough man to lose, Matt Canny. He's an excellent defensive player. Made a great defensive play in the Peabody game, picked off a pass and almost got them back in the game with a touchdown. The game they lost 6-0. The give this time to Commandal. Inside the 20-yard line, good for the first down.
This is pretty big here for Salem. They want to stop Lynn English. Had a nice drive the last series. They had the ball. And now they're having another nice drive. And they've got Salem backed up here to the 18-yard line. And I think it would really be big for them to stop Lynn English.
That was a quarterback keeper by Chris Warren. And he used that a couple of times this year already for touchdowns and big gains. He uses it now for a gain inside the 15 to about the 14-yard line. He picked up almost 4 on the play. Now they mark it right at the 15-yard line. So we'll give him 3. It'll be a 2nd and 7. English moving the football. To give to Vaughn, the quick opener, stays on his feet, keeps driving, keeps the legs going, in for the touchdown.
Another great run.
And again, it's only 15 yards, but again, it's an exciting 15 yards. We got 2 players who do the same thing. Joey Toops can do it for Salem, and Brian Vaughn can certainly do it for English. He does it here. Here's the replay, and you see him bouncing off a couple of tackles, and just keeping his balance and diving in the end zone. He just refuses to go down, Jerry.
Jeremy Potvin looked like he had him about the 5-yard line, and Vaughn just kept going and charging ahead.
And he hit him a decent shot, too, at about the waist, and he just kept his balance and kept going. Warren rolling to his right, looking in the end zone, throws it in the end zone, intercepted. And the reason we mention it's intercepted by Joey Toops is he could run it back, but he's tackled in, so the pass is no good for the points. So it's a big 66-yard drive. 8 plays it takes them to go 66 yards. And the big play was the big run by quarterback Chris Warren on a 3rd and long, 3rd and 10 actually, from the single wing formation, a shotgun, if you will, he picked up 16 big yards for the first down and kept the drive alive. And then it was Brian Vaughn finishing it off for his second touchdown. And the score goes to 14-6.
We're going to take another look at the touchdown. Vaughn, right there, it's Jeremy Puck, and it looked like he had him about this 5-6 yard line, but Vaughn just refuses to go down. He's got all 14 points for Lynn English.
We talked about you got to hit him low. If you don't hit him low, you don't get him. There was a case where they hit him low twice and still didn't get him. So he's just got tremendous leg strength and that tremendous speed. He got to that opening, and the hole opened up, and he was through it before you could snap your fingers. Ranam getting set to kick off. Joey Toops is the man in the middle. Tony Dakotas to the near side. Scott Conley to the far side. Bounces it. Fielded now at about the 25-yard line. Good return.
Connolly.
So Salem has pretty good field position at their 42-yard line. And we'll see what they do here. They've had success rolling Toops out where he has an option to pass or throw, and he's certainly a threat doing either one. So far, George McDonald has been his favorite receiver in doing that. Little reverse. Now the flea flicker all alone downfield. Matt Candy is the receiver. He's loose. He's going to go in for the touchdown. And I think it was Mike Meyer, number 68, who threw the ball. Was it 48? It looked like, I was just going to say, how did they wind up getting him in that position? It was 48, I guess, Scott Conley. You wonder how he wins 200 games. Here it is.
Connolly. George McDonald.
I think it was McDonald.
Yeah.
I take it back. I thought it was 68, 48. It was 88. We told you before the game, McDonald would play wing back, full back, end. He's caught the ball. Now he's thrown the ball for a touchdown. It takes Salem one play, 58 yards. And just like that, it's 14-12. And I've been watching these two teams play each other for quite a few years. And these are the types of games you get. It's always a barn burner here.
You know what's kind of interesting is before the game, a lot of talk was about how well these teams play defensively, and they do. But it's really been an offensive show so far.
Well, they've given up. Salem has given up more points than they've given up in the first two games. English has already given up twice as much as they've given up in the first two games because their first-string defense gave up nothing. They've already given up 12. And credit that young man right there on your screen, Matt Canny. He had to wait for the football, and when he came back and caught it, he made a great move on the two defenders and caught them coming full blast at him. He just sidestepped them and was going the other way in the other direction, and there was no way they were going to catch him.
And on the defensive play, two plays before that, Canny was a little shooken up and ran off the field, and we were hoping he wouldn't be injured, and obviously proved he's feeling fine there. That was a nice catch and run.
That's for sure. Now for the all-important two-point conversion. No mystery here. They'll go for two because it's not. They need two to tie the game up. I would expect to see Toops maybe rolling out, running or throwing.
They've got McDonald leading the way.
Toops trying to get to the corner. He's in. Good blocking out in front.
They had George McDonald line up in the backfield that time, and he just led the way, and Toops followed right behind him. And he ties it up at 14.
In talking to Kenny Perone before the game, he mentioned the fact that last week they ran, here you see the replay of McDonald's pass to Canty. You see the good move right here as he steps between the two defenders and then moves to the left and outruns everybody. Kenny Perone was saying that last week they ran so well against Marblehead because McDonald was lining up on the right side as the end, and he was blowing everybody off the line of scrimmage. And he said, we're going to miss his blocking. And I'm sure that's one of the reasons they put him in the backfield, because now they can go either way, right or left, with George blocking. So just like that, it's a new ball game, 14-14.
58 yards.
58 yards on the pass play from McDonald to Canny, and Salem is used to scoring touchdowns very quickly. We mentioned that before. We mentioned they scored 2 in 18 seconds, 3 in 73 seconds, and they scored 4 in 6 minutes. And right there, English looks like they're starting to take control of the game. They go up on top 14-6. Momentum is going their way, and then a little reverse with the pass, little flea flicker, and they're right back in it with a 2-point conversion by Tukes, and it's 14-14. It's a brand new ball game with 7:42 left to play in the first half. Line drives it. It'll be Vaughn at about the 12-yard line. Starts it upfield. Looks to get to the outside. Can't get there. He's up to about the 30-yard line. Looked to use his speed to get to the outside and just got corralled and get knocked back. Here you see it.
This game has been the talk of the town for the past, ever since this game was scheduled. It's really been talked about how big of a game this would be, and leading up to the game this week, there's been a lot of talk, a lot of written in the paper, and so far it's lived up to everything that we've heard and read about it.
Warren, the quarterback. The give, straight ahead. Ranam with the carry. Gets out to the 34-yard line. He picked up 4 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Everybody in tight for the Bulldogs. Vaughn, the deep man in the eye. Warren, the quarterback. The give to Vaughn off the right side. Bounces, stays in his feet, keeps driving ahead. Across the 35 to about the 38. They mark it now at the 37-yard line. A pickup of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Well, obviously, Vaughn has overcome any troubles he had last week when he only gained 47 yards against Danvers, because he's had quite a great game so far. He's got all 14 points for English.
Vaughn off the right side. Gets stood up and knocked down. And that's George McDonald. There's a flag on the play. George McDonald made the big defensive play. And I'm not sure what the flag is for. We're about to get a face mask against Salem. So George got a piece of the face mask as well.
That's obviously a big play because they had Vaughn stop that time. We'll take a look at the replay. Nice hit right there, but he just grabbed his face mask.
It was actually Canny actually, 82-88. McDonald finished him off. As the beauty of replay, we get to see our mistakes. Or my mistake.
Unfortunately, Canny gets to see it too.
So the 1st down gets him out to the 43-yard line for the Bulldogs. It keeps their drive alive. They would have had to punt. So a break for the Bulldogs. Nickerson ducks his head. Might have got a yard. They mark it to the 44. It'll be 2nd down and 9. And as yet, we've only seen Warren throw the ball once. Kenny Todd and Vasquez are excellent receivers. And English got a little reverse that they can use too with Vasquez. Warren dropping back to throw. Looks downfield, looking for Vasquez. Knocked away by Joey Toops.
Warren got nailed by Jermaine Satterwhite just as he released that ball.
I saw Satterwhite coming up behind him. He was just about to get the pass off right here. You'll see Warren just be able to get the pass away before he gets hit. And here's Toops making the play.
Toops has been terrific as a safety this game. He's had an interception, and 2 times he's broken up passes deep into Salem territory.
3rd and 9. Vasquez now goes to the far side. Todd is the man to the near side. In motion goes Vaughn. Warren dropping straight back. Trying to set the screen pass up. They get it to Nickerson. Looking for a block out in front. Gets it, he's loose. Toops the last man. Toops makes the tackle, but not before he gets to the Salem 25-yard line.
That play was set up perfectly. Vaughn just let the defense come in and collapse on him, and he just knocked it off to Nickerson, who was wide open. He kind of outran his blockers.
Well, you got a
Nice
good
job.
block down front. That's Nickerson going off the field. Nice job by Mark. And Toops, the safety again, made the tackle that saved the touchdown. But a big first down for the Bulldogs at the 24-yard line of the Witchers.
And after only throwing it one time, they came back with 2 straight passes, and obviously it worked.
Vaughn cuts it back up inside. It turns nothing into something. Chad Hidler made a great play on defense for Salem. He broke right up the middle, up the chute, but Vaughn saw him and was able to cut it back inside and get to the 19-yard line. So it looked like he was going to get stopped in the backfield. He picked up 5 yards. 2nd and 5 for the Bulldogs. That's going to cost them 5 yards. They made the first down, but they're going to bring it back. That looked like a fire drill. Everybody was moving on that play. You get that way when things are going good. You're saying, we're moving the ball well. I want to hit somebody quick. And everybody moves to try and make sure they get their block. And it cost them. They'll mark it back to the 24-yard line.
That stops Lynn English, but the question is, Salem has to stop Lynn English. Twice. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns for English. They're going to have to come. Salem's really going to have to come up with some defense here.
2nd down and 10.
Into the half. There's only 4 minutes to go.
From the 24-yard line. Nickerson, the deep man in the eye. Everybody in tight for the Bulldogs. Warren, the give to Nickerson. Bounces it off the left side, down to about the 20-yard line. His knee went down at the 21, so they'll give him 3 on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Bulldogs.
Nickerson does a nice job for English, too, and he's only a junior.
He's a good running back. Chris Warren getting a workout. After every play, he runs to the sidelines to get the next play. Todd to the near side. Vasquez to the far side. And now English is calling timeout. Both Vasquez and Warren both call timeout. Somebody saw, or they were mixed up on the play they were calling. Something was a problem because they immediately called timeout, 2 of them. You see the scoreboard clock, we're dead even, 14-14. 3:24, and Jerry, I think you put it right in the nose. This ball game, it certainly has lived up to its billing. When you see 2 teams that they were co-champs last year, and even though both teams had only a little experience coming back, you're still co-champs until somebody beats you.
So, as far as the experience goes, Raymond was Salem's only offensive starter returning from last year. And when he goes down with an injury, that obviously is going to hurt. But Salem, under Ken Perrone, has been there for 18 years. He said before the game, we're not going to throw in the towel. And they certainly aren't. This game has been a great game, lived up to every expectation we had. As we take a look.
There's Bobby Raymond right there with the crutches. And the man next to him, the trainer with his arm in a sling, he may have started this whole thing.
That's John Palazzi. He broke his arm playing touch football.
John Palazzi, he's got the ball rolling. Everybody on the sidelines has got either a cast or in uniform, one or the other. Warren rolling to his right. Dumps it off to Nickerson again. Blockers out in front. Tucks his head, stays on his feet, dives for the goal line. Big first down.
Nice job by Lynn English using the pass this drive. Warren has really done a nice job.
He's really come on strong as a quarterback. Talk about inexperience. He looks like he's already playing, like this is his 4th year. There's the replay, the dump off to Nickerson, and a good job of Nickerson getting down to about the 2-yard line. That's a big plus for the Bulldogs to be able to have people that they can use. And we talked about Salem's weapons. We see English has got a few of their own. Warren with the quarterback sneak. He's in for the touchdown.
Nice job that time. Just bowling right up over the center.
I think most people, Jerry, would have said, if you said 20-14, they might have said that might be the final score. Or they figured maybe 8-6 or 8-0 because these two teams are very stingy when giving up points. But the offenses have really got it cranked up here tonight, and we've got, you know, right now we've got 34 points. I don't know what the over-under was, but we got 34 points, and the first half isn't over yet. Ron Arm is looking for the extra point. It's down. The kick is up. The kick is good.
You're right. I don't think coming into this game you would expect these two teams. Well, then again, though, like you said, with Salem scoring 3 touchdowns in 73 seconds last week, they're obviously capable of scoring, and so isn't Lynn English. But you kind of wondered, you know, what would be the dominant part of this game, the offenses or the defenses playing into each other?
I think it was only a matter of time because both of these teams have a lot of weapons. When you've got a Joey Toops at quarterback, who is a threat every time he touches the football, that puts an awful lot of pressure on the defense. When you've got a Brian Vaughn on the other side, and now Gary Millay must be saying a lot of novenas over Chris Warren because this young man has really come on strong, and everybody knew what Brian Vaughn was going to do, but Nickerson and Warren have really been outstanding for English, and that's made it a lot easier for the coaching staff and much tougher for the defense. So when you get that kind of offense and you get it cranked up, you're going to put points in the boot.
It obviously makes it tougher too when you're trying to key on Warren. Excuse me, you're trying to key on Vaughn, and then Warren comes here with a nice offensive show throwing the ball. That makes it doubly tough on Salem. You can't just key on Vaughn. And also Nickerson, he's having himself a nice game here himself.
No question. And Mark is an excellent football player. He's showing it here tonight. And English has shown that they have a lot of weapons. Joey Toops from the 15-yard line. Stutter steps, looks straight ahead, stays on his feet, out across the 35 to about the 38-yard line.
Well, whenever Lynn English has scored, Salem has come back and scored themselves. So it's going to be interesting to see. They've only got 2 minutes and 45 seconds to come back and answer, but they can do it quickly, as we've talked about.
Well, I'm sure they're going to be, first thing they'll be looking for is a halfback option pass, except it'll be the end, number 88, throwing it. So I don't think they'll fool English with that play again. Toops looking to throw under a lot of pressure. Trying to get away, not going to do it. Calling it knocked down. Wendeley Valera did a nice job, but it was Pete Lacciardi who made the play. Burst in from his linebacker spot, forced Toops to run. Here you see, there's Lacciardi making him run. And there's Valera putting the hit on him.
That was a nice pursuit that time. It almost doesn't matter how quick you are when you got pursuit like that. 3 linebackers on his tail. It's awful tough to get through that. That was a nice job there by him.
Well, it showed Toops' maneuverability, though. He at the last minute, he saw Lacciardi. He was able to still get away and try to get to the outside, but there were too many red shirts. Now we get a whistle, and this might be the 2-minute warning. They wind it down to the 2-minute warning, so we've had an awful lot of points scored here. We saw Salem about to go to the shotgun with 1:59 left, but tremendous football game so far, Jerry, and I don't know why the second half wouldn't be any as good, if not better.
That's what's going to be interesting, is seeing what the coaches have to say to their players.
Well, like English last week, they scored 3 touchdowns, but they had excellent field position. A couple of turnovers got them down deep. So they really didn't get the kind of offense they wanted, but they certainly got it here in the first half. And I think it's a case of if you get Brian Vaughn going, then that opens up all those other weapons. And the same thing with Toops. If you get him going, it opens up a lot of weapons. And that's what we're seeing here tonight so far. Into the shotgun. Finally, the man in the slot. Toops looking downfield, looking for McDonald, incomplete.
Speaking of the second half, I think that could be a key combination right there. Toops to McDonald. They've they've been doing well here in the first half with McDonald bouncing around in a whole host of positions. And that's been a nice combination, Toops-McDonald.
Well, it's different for the two coaches going into the locker room at halftime this week. In the last couple of weeks, they've gone in talking about let's try and get the offense geared up because the defense is playing so well. And this is just a reversal. You know, they've got the offense cranked up. They'd like to get a little more defense if they could. So I'm sure that'll be prevalent on both coaches' minds. Conley, the deep man in the eye. The give to Conley straight ahead, right up the middle, across the 35, close to first down yardage.
And Salem's got to kind of hurry up here because there's only 1:40 left, and they used up 2 of their timeouts early in the first half.
I looked at the yard marker across the way saying it was close to a first down. I forgot about the loss. It's close to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down now. And there's still 1:20 and counting on the clock. And if you get any kind of a rundown now, you'll see English using some timeouts and maybe Chris Warren airing it out, trying to get some more points on the board. We got a flag on the play, and that's going to be too much time.
Fosse's Pizza, 4 Linfield Street, Wyoma Square in Lynn, is the place to go when your appetite starts to grow. Fosse's Pizza can't be beat. It's made from the freshest dough daily. We also offer subs, calzone, and party platters for any occasion. Try one of our Italian dinners. Any meal can be delivered.
Come on down to Fosse Pizza. Try the best pizza in the world. We're located at 4 Linfield Street, right in the heart of Wyoma Square. Be fussy, go Fosse's.
Toops, what a great play by Toops. Vaughn feels it on the fly at his 35. A big block by Brum. What a block Derek Brum threw out there to let Vaughn get to the outside.
What a nice play by Toops, too. If that ball got by him, you're looking at English with the ball on the 10-yard line.
Well, that's good athletic ability. We mentioned it before. He's as good a center fielder as you're going to find around here, especially going back on the ball. Here you see him. You know, most people would have thought he was wearing a glove at making that play, and you just at the corner of your screen, you just saw the big block by Brum, and he leveled somebody. And English has the ball at the 50-yard line, and right away they go into the shotgun. Warren rolling, looking to his right, cuts it up inside, stays in his feet, now falls forward inside to about the 48-yard line of Salem. Quickly, English calls timeout, and we're looking at 34 seconds left on the clock. And again, he looked once for a receiver, couldn't find anybody, and then he just tucked it away. It's almost like if I see it right away, I'll throw it. If not, I'm going to run with the football. It certainly paid off once when he picked up a big 16 yards to keep a drive alive.
I'd look for number 25, Miguel Vasquez, going deep downfield. He's one of their top receivers. He's speedy.
Yeah, Vasquez has got great speed. Kenny Todd has got great speed as well. They've got 2 excellent receivers to the outside. And, of course, what happens is if you bring them deep, as they did before, they slip Mark Nickerson underneath. They can slip Brian Vaughn underneath. And then Mark Nickerson got it down to about the 2-yard line. And everything went really well for English on that drive.
That's what's so great about Vaughn. You don't necessarily have to throw the ball in the air 25 yards to get a big gain from him. You can just dump it off, and he can do it on his own. He can make those plays.
Derek. So now they've got the ball at the 48-yard line. We got the signal that was English's last timeout. So they're going to have time for a couple of passes. Remember, the clock stops if they make a first down or if it's incomplete until the first down at least till they move the chains. So we should have the hurry up offense by English. Joey Toops and Satterwhite are about 30 yards downfield. Warren hits Todd quickly down to about the 41-yard line, close to a first down.
And they're going to have to hurry.
They didn't give him the first down. And they downed the football, and I'm surprised they didn't ask for a measurement to at least stop the clock.
It was awful close. It was awful close to a first down, but you were right. They didn't pick up the first down.
Eric, over here.
So now we have 4th down and 1.
4th and 1. Now they're in a big bind because with 4th and 1, they've got to throw the football because if they run for it, the clock is going to be over and the half is going to be over. They've got 12 seconds. So the only thing to do is throw for it here with 12 seconds remaining in the half.
And they're going to have to do it near the sidelines, too, so they can get out of bounds. They might have 2 plays left.
Now we get a flag for too much time.
Well, that's going to hurt. That's going to hurt because they had 4th and 1.
We're going to be accused of being prejudiced because the next man I have in the booth is Eric Scholes from Salem, but you got to remember that the press box is on the Salem side and the English kids are all over the other side. Good crowd, good football game, Eric, but tell us what you're doing.
I'm playing at Tufts right now. We have a big game tomorrow against Williams. They're riding a 14-game winning streak. And, you know, it's a big game tomorrow, and hopefully I'll get in there and have a chance to play.
How are you doing yourself?
Good. I'm playing a lot. You know, first linebacker in. Tomorrow we got a run-oriented defense, so I'll be playing a lot tomorrow. I'm looking forward to playing tomorrow.
What do you think about this game here?
It's strange being back here. It's so weird seeing someone else with number 35 than being, you know, I'm so used to me wearing it, you know, but just got to get used to it. I'm not in high school no more.
Well, we just mentioned Mike Giotti. It's going to be different for me as well with you, not mentioning tackle by Eric Scholes or home run by Eric Scholes. I told Michael, and I'll tell you the same thing, we may slip your name in assuming you're out there. We may mention you anyway.
Yeah, it's great to come back and see all the people, and I haven't been around for a while. It's great to come back and see all the guys I played with last year and stuff. George McDonald's looks like he's playing real well, and Scar Conley.
All right, Eric, I thank you for dropping in and seeing us. We wish you well, and keep us in touch with what you're doing, and make sure you let us know how everything is panning out. Good luck in the game tomorrow. Okay, the half comes to a close. A big second period by English, and now we get the sign that it's not over, as Salem called timeout. We got the sign. The clock says 0. Everybody was going to the sidelines. Now all of a sudden, Salem calls a timeout. They get the ball at the 48-yard line, and it looks like they may run a play. We get the sign now from next door. Butch Durant, Ed McElligott tell us that there is 3 seconds left. So now it'll be the same. The shoe is on the other foot. English will be going back now, playing center field, playing deep.
Salem's down. They really don't have anything to lose if they go for it all here. But it'll be interesting to see Coach Kenny Perone talk to the troops.
Look at one play. Joey Troops is going to air it out. And the only difference here, I think, Jerry, is that English has got a little more speed than Salem has, and they can get downfield a little bit quicker. And here we have the same play. This time they're looking for Conley. Knocked away a good defensive play by Miguel Vasquez, and we got a flag on the play, so don't go away yet. That was the last play. We got ineligible receiver downfield. Refused by English, so the half does come to a close. 21-14 at the end of the half, and for the first time I have the timekeeper standing right in front of me as I say 21-14 at the end of the half. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Fosse's Pizza, 4 Linfield Street, Wyoma Square in Lynn, is the place to go when your appetite starts to grow. Fosse's Pizza can't be beat. It's made from the freshest dough daily. We also offer subs, calzone, and party platters for any occasion. Try one of our Italian dinners. Any meal can be delivered.
Come on down to Fosse Pizza. Try the best pizza in the world. We're located at 4 Linfield Street, right in the heart of Wyoma Square. Be fussy. Go Fosse's.
Welcome back to Manning Bowl as we start the second half. 21-14, the Bulldogs on top, and they'll get the kick. And helping me out as we start the second half, you people around the North Shore will hear a voice from the past. You heard him quite often on WESX. Bill Newell. Bill, it's a pleasure to have you with us.
Good to be here, John.
And I don't know if that's Tony Amico running it back or Brian Vaughn switched jerseys. I think that's Brian Vaughn, who just changed jerseys on us. Runs the kick back to the English 39-yard line. Bill, tell the folks at home what you're doing with yourself.
Well, I'm working the overnight sports show still, and also doing Harvard football. And I was just mentioning next door, I got a chance to see Greg Abruzzese, the former Swampscott running back, 2 weeks ago down at Columbia.
Super. Yeah, that's excellent. You get to see some good football.
Yeah.
Harvard. Shortly, not this year, but next year, you'll get to see Mike Giardi from Salem.
That's right.
He's there.
I think he's down on the freshman squad there.
Billy Madden's there, too, but that's baseball and track, I think.
In fact, I think I overheard his name the other day when I was down there around the coach's office. One note about Abruzzese, I guess, he looked good against Harvard. We were down there a year ago, too, and he injured himself. He hurt the ankle just in the scrimmage before the regular season began and missed that game, but he looked real good against Harvard this year.
Chris Warren on the keep picks up a couple out to about the 45-yard line. It's going to bring up a third, and we'll call it 4. Well, Bill, there's no question the people miss you around the area. Became sort of like a fixture here on the North Shore with the football and the show. And I know
but
fixtures
get changed, John,
well, right? I know that. But you did a great job for high school sports, and I'm sure the people really appreciate it. I know I certainly did when you did the Hoffman football game and Jamboree and the basketball games, and it was a pleasure for me to work with you, and it's a pleasure to see you back.
Yeah, good to see you again, John.
All right, Billy, thank you very much for dropping in.
Thank you.
So they did stick it in. It is Brian Vaughn wearing 12 and not 2 as he gets to the 46-yard line. It'll be 4th and 3, and Salem's going to have to kick. And this is the first time, Jerry, that they've helped English, except for the opening series. English has scored the other times they've had the football.
We'll go over a little bit of stats for the first half. Right after they kick this off, get some first half stats. Kind of interesting.
Nickerson with a pretty good kick. Toops fields it at about the 23-yard line. Tries to get to the outside, gets it back.
Well, for English, they were dominant on the ground. They had 148 yards rushing in the first half, led by Brian Vaughn with 82 yards on 12 carries. Passing, they were 3 for 8 for 57 yards. For Salem, they had 63 yards on the ground, and Scott Connolly had 63 yards rushing. Passing 4 for 7, 92 yards, including that big 58-yard touchdown pass from George McDonald to Matt Canny.
This is Scott Conley. So he adds to his stats there as he gets across the 35 to about the 38-yard line. Picked up 6 big yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 4.
And you talked about how Lynn English didn't get stopped by Salem except for this previous series. They had scoring of 11-yard run by Vaughn, came back with a 15-yard run by Vaughn. Salem scored with McDonald 58-yard pass to Canny, and Warren had a 3-yard run.
And here's a mix-up in the backfield. And it's Tony Dakopoulos who makes the big sack on Toops, and was a little sort of banged into Scott Conley as he was trying to hand off. And Dakopoulos was right there all over Toops as he loses back inside the 35. We'll call it the 35-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and a long 7 as they send Canny and Dakotas to the near side. Toops rolling, looking downfield, lets it go, lets it fly. He's got a man there. Dakotas has got the pass reception to Dakotas, but there's a flag on the play. It's coming back.
They ruled it incomplete also, John. I believe he was out of bounds before he had that.
Now there's a hold against Salem, and I'm glad you picked it up, Jerry, because I saw Dakotas catch it, and I saw the official coming down to mark the ball, and I thought they were marking it as a catch.
The side judge waved it off.
So I would assume that English will probably refuse this. Even though it's a big one, it's 10 yards. But they'll be forced to punt the football. This is a big decision. And I see Gary Millay now on the sideline saying, we're not going to take it. We'll make them kick. So this is basically what we thought we'd have earlier in the game. Defense with both teams shutting each other down.
That's what we talked about going into the half. Coaches were going to have to stress to their teams, hey, we've got to buckle down on defense, and they have early. Question is, can they keep it up?
Troops with the kick. It's a short kick out of bounds. English is going to get pretty good field position. We'll see. They mark it right at the 50-yard line. So English winds up with pretty good field position. And it was interesting the way they scored the touchdowns, Jerry. The first one was a 77-yard drive in 9 plays with Conley carrying 5 times for 42 yards. The second one, Brian Vaughn, they went 53 yards in 4 plays. Vaughn carried 3 times for 44 yards. So it looked like it was going to be the Vaughn-Conley show. But then we saw Nickerson and Toops and McDonald and Candy and everybody get involved in the second period.
Fumble, John.
Fumble. Salem saying they got the football.
Vaughn that time.
We haven't seen anybody come out of the stack now. Salem saying they got it. And we're looking to see the number at the bottom of the pile.
It looks like it was McDonald.
So it was number 88, George McDonald, who recovered the fumble. And we see the replay here. And it was McDonald who fell on it, and they have the ball at the 49-yard line. Toops throws it too low and in the dirt. Dakotas couldn't hang on.
And that's the second turnover for English this game. Toops with the interception when English was going for the 2-point conversion in the first half. And now Vaughn with the fumble gives Salem nice field position, the 50-yard line.
With Toops trying to take advantage right away, going up top, but he threw the ball in the dirt and Dakotas couldn't hold on. So it brings up a 2nd and 10 from the 49. Toops. He's got Conley out in front blocking. Good job by Vasquez. There were just too many red shirts there for Conley to block, and Vasquez did a nice job to blow by the interference and make the tackle on Joey Toops.
Well, that was a case where you have a speedy runner in Toops being hounded by a speedy defender in Vasquez. McDonald, they gave the fake to McDonald, and then Vasquez just strings it out and gets a nice wrap around the neck of Toops.
It brings up a 3rd and 6. He looked like he was going to go a long way, but Vasquez made a great defensive play coming up from his cornerback position. Now the motion. Conley, the deep man in the eye. They give to Conley straight up the middle. Gets stood up, and it's a case of whether they get a favorable spot or a not favorable spot, whether he made the first down or not.
That was awful close. That time. It's very, very close to a first down. But that was a nice job by Lynn English. Stopping Connolly. He had a head of steam going. He was stopped right in his tracks.
He gets stood up and he couldn't get any further, so now it's going to bring up a 4th down and a good yard.
And that was Dave Comandel who had the hit. He's a highly touted linebacker for this English Bulldogs team.
Again, Conley, the deep man behind McDonald. They give to Conley. Hit and knocked down, and they didn't give it to him. I don't think they're going to give it to him, but he fell forward. Now they're going to have we're going to have a first measurement, so I shouldn't really say that, but we'll wait and see where the spot is.
English ball.
Now they mark it back at the 42. They're not even going to bother to measure it.
Well, we talked about offense in the first half, and right now we're talking about defense in the second half.
I think that play was supposed to go up the middle where he's been going all day, but he kind of banged it off, veered a little bit to the left. And a big defensive play by the Bulldogs, and they have the ball back. at their own 42-yard line. This is Vaughn. Quick hitter off the right side. He gets out to the 47 for a pickup of 5.
That's a nice job by the Lynn English defense stopping Connolly. It's not often you stop him for a 1 or 2 yard loss. When you're on 4th and 1, it's a good bet Connolly's going to make it.
Cormandel trying to get to the outside. Good job by English. Good interference out in front. Dave Cormandel gets escorted around the right side. Gets inside the 45-yard line to the 44.
Talking to a couple of the English players before the game, and they were commenting on Dave Cormandel, how he's a real stellar player on the defense. He's a tough guy. He also does a good job running, getting tough yardage.
Talk about tough yardage. You just saw some more right there. And English has shown their versatility, Jerry. They've put a lot of people in there. They've used Nickerson. They've used Nam. Vaughn, we know of. Cormandel.
And that's obviously going to plays a big factor, not only throughout this game, but throughout the season, where you don't have to have Vaughn carrying the ball every play, every other play. You've got that diversity of backs out there who can help out.
That was Warren. Fake the inside handoff to Cormandel, looking to get to the outside. Maybe a pitch to Vaughn, who was behind him, but he slipped, or somebody got a hold of him, and he went down just outside the 40-yard line.
Lynn English did this a lot in the first half, where they'd run the ball 4 or 5, 6 times in a row, and all of a sudden come back with that pass. Be interesting to see if they do that here.
Well, they got 3rd and long. 3rd and we'll call it 6. Vaughn trying to go off the right side. Got inside the 40, but nowhere near first down. He got to the 38, and what do you think they'll do here, Jerry? They got a 4th down and a good long 3, closer to 4.
Go for it.
I don't see the punter coming in.
Why not?
Showing a lot of pride in his defense, Coach Gary Millay, and now
don't think about it.
Yeah, Dave Spofford called the timeout so they can talk about it. Going back to that scoring, in the second period is when everything started to break loose. Vaughn went 15 yards, but it was a 66-yard drive in 8 plays. The big play was Chris Warren on a 3rd and 10 at the Salem 46, ran 16 yards to the 30 for a big first down to keep the drive alive. And he eventually Warren went in for the touchdown to make it 14-6. And then the big play, 1 play later, after the kick was returned to the 52-yard line of Salem, Matt Canny with the 58-yard pass from George McDonald on the what looked like a little reverse play. George McDonald straightened up and threw it as far as he could, and Canny sort of fair caught the ball at about the 35-yard line. But it looked good on the scoreboard, the 6 points. But English came right back. They went 70 yards in 9 plays. Warren went over from 2 yards out, and 2 big plays in the drive. Warren to Nickerson for 32 yards to the Salem 24, and then Warren to Nickerson 19 yards down to the 2-yard line. Warren polished it off. Ron Nam kicked the extra point, and that's where we are right now, 21-14, the same place we were at halftime. Both teams have been to the sidelines. The defense talking to their coaching staff, Chris Warren, and the English offense over talking to Gary Millay and his staff. And we'll see what they come up with here on 4th down. They've used that little pass to the backs, slipping out of the backfield, Nickerson and Vaughn both. Off the right side, it's Cormandel. And he's very close to first down yardage, but I'm not sure whether he made it or not.
That time they lined up 3 backs in the backfield with Spofford, Vaughn, and Cormandel. And they just tried to power their way over Salem, but they couldn't do it.
There's a Salem man down, I believe. You're going to see the replay here.
As you can see, they just tried to power their way for those 3 yards, and it didn't happen. Nice tackle that time.
It was Vaughn who went for it. He got to the 35-yard line. he comes up a yard short. They mark the ball at the 35. So we've had back and forth here, except for the turnover. It's been the defenses doing the job here in the second half after we put 35 points on the board in the first half. So this is the type of game most people thought it would be throughout, with the defenses overtaking the offense. But what not so in the first half. But we'll see what Salem does now. It's amazing to watch these teams play, because you look and it's exciting when you see someone like Brian Vaughn with the football. You can almost feel the electricity in the stands. And the same thing when Joey Toops has it, because he's able, he's got that little dash, stop and go, and you can almost see the people sitting up a little straighter in their chairs when they're going with the ball, because they know they can make a play at almost any time.
Well, a player like Toops, he's so quick, and Vaughn, that was Matt Kinney coming off the field, but coming off under his own strength, which is obviously a good sign.
I'm sure he's going to be back. He's a tough kid. And he's another one of those three-sport athletes. He's got some conference championships under his belt, too. He's basketball, baseball, and football.
It really is amazing how well Salem has done in all three sports.
So 1st and 10 for the Witches at their own 35-yard line. Toops with the pitch to Conley, looking to get outside. Bangs ahead for maybe 3, possibly 4.
It's tough to see Connolly's number, but you just look for all the mud and you know that's him who's running the ball. He's the one who gets down there and dirty and makes a lot of those tough runs.
He picks up 3 on the play, out to the 38-yard line. And we got a Salem man down again. So the only real threat so far in this first half was English when they drove down and got a first down to the Salem 44-yard line. They wound up turning the ball over at the 35, a yard short. Other than that, the defenses have really controlled the ball game here in the second half. We're 21-14. The Bulldogs on top. And we told you before, they're looking for their 3rd straight win over Salem. They haven't done it since 54 through 56, when you young people will remember, but Tippy Johnson, who was another a great athlete and a great football player, was in the backfield for English those 3 years. That was the last time they won 3 in a row. They're trying to make it 3 in a row tonight. They lead by 7 with the 3rd period winding down. 2:13 left to play in the 3rd period. 2nd and 7 for the Witches. To give to Conley. Not much as he bangs off the left side. They'll give him a yard.
That time he was just stood up by Tony Tokopoulos. Nice job that time by the tackle. But you mentioned how Lynn English is going for their 3rd straight win over Salem. They're also going for this 10th straight at home.
Yeah, and
14 out of 15.
They've got quite a streak going. These kids know that most of them, Vaughn was, but there wasn't anybody else that was involved in that, in the 13 out of 14 wins. But still, it's your team, your school, and you don't want to be the one that doesn't keep it going. Toops rolling. Now cuts it back up inside. They grab a hold of him, knock him down, but he picks up the first down, and there's a flag on the play. So I'm not sure what it is, but there's a flag back up at the line of scrimmage. And it looks like they're walking back.
Yep, it's holding.
But there's a perfect example of what we're talking about. That was a pass play, rolled to his right, looking downfield, and just as Brian Vaughn does when he sees that little seam or that little crack, he just took off, squared his shoulders away, got upfield, made the first down. Unfortunately, it's going to go for naught. You see him right here. That good burst of speed.
And if Wenderly Valera didn't get a piece of his shirt, which is about all he could catch up to.
Yeah, Valera and Tiggs finally knock him down, but they're getting penalized back now to the 28-yard line. It's a big one.
It is a big one.
3rd down and 17, we'll call it.
Instead of a first down at about the 40.
They have to get out to the 45-yard line.
Come on, Matt, get set. Go, go, go.
Troops, again, rolling to his right, looking downfield. Lets it go, short to Connie. Makes a nice catch. Vaughn with the tackle. And there's a case where Scott Conley didn't really field the ball cleanly. He had to wait and actually like hold it against his thigh while he picked up the ball. Otherwise, he could have turned and straightened his shoulders away, and he's a load to bring down when he gets going upfield.
Yeah, he juggles the ball as he catches it. You'll see right there, he juggles it, and then he gets met by Vaughn, who makes a nice one-on-one tackle.
Vaughn, good open field tackler. As we see Joey Toops in punt formation.
Go, 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 go.
Toops has been doing it all for Salem tonight. Gets the kick off.
It really is never off the
bounces.
field.
We got a flag somewhere down here. I don't know what that's for. Vaughn looking to get to the outside. Gets a big block here.
I don't know if that was a clip right there.
There's a flag coming down. The flag was thrown well upfield when just before Vaughn fielded the ball. I believe it was Kenny Todd with the big block, and the Salem player is down.
That's McDonald. He got nailed from behind, and you can see Kenny Perrone screaming on the sideline.
Hopefully he just got the wind knocked out of him. The flag was thrown almost immediately as before even Vaughn even fielded the football. So the flag is not for the block on that play. Hitler is the man that was down.
Sorry, Hitler.
And I didn't get the sign, but they're bringing it back, and they're going to do it over again, I think, and I'm not sure what this is all about.
It was thrown immediately. Before Vaughn even had a chance to touch the ball, it was thrown.
It's a first down for Salem. And folks, I wish I could tell you what that was for. But
we can tell you Chad Hitler's back in the game, which is a nice sign.
Salem wants to call a timeout and talk about it. Somebody is mentioning that it's unsportsmanlike conduct before the ball was received, which is a 15-yard penalty. And since it was before they received the football, that's why it's from the line of scrimmage, and it gives Salem a first down.
And the official threw that flag was standing right next to Vaughn. So you have to kind of wonder, did Vaughn say something? Because it was in the Salem sideline, so obviously the only person near the ball was Vaughn.
Actually, what I saw was there were two players back to field the punt. One of the players started upfield very quickly as though he was trying to block. And I'm not sure whether there was something involved with the player who left the scene. It wound up with Vaughn being the only man back because he fielded the punt, and the other player that was back with him was going to start upfield and try to block for him. I couldn't even hazard a guess as to what was said or what they did. Or they're now moving the ball back to the other side, and the reason they're doing that is because the third period came to a close. While we're going through all this, we've ended, as you see the play here, we're seeing the replay, and I didn't see much there either, but the third period comes to a close with the score still. English 21, Salem 14. We'll be right back.
We pledged our allegiance to it when we were young. We studied its importance when we were in our teens. We sing its praises at every sporting event. We display it when we celebrate, lower it when we mourn, and honor our heroes with it when they've fallen. It stands for what we are and what we believe in. How we treat it says a lot about us.
Welcome back to Manny Bowl. John Hoffman along with Jerry Paracella. And we've cleared up a little bit. It seems as though English had 12 players on the field. And that was the reason the guy was running for the sidelines. He wasn't trying to block. He was trying to get off the field. Pass quickly across the middle to George McDonald.
I certainly didn't want to implicate Brian Vaughn into
but he didn't get away with it.
The official.
So the ball is down to the 41. It'll bring up a 2nd and 2 as we start the 4th quarter. And a defensive struggle in the 3rd quarter. English penetrated as far as the 35-yard line. came up short by a yard. Right now, this is Salem's deepest penetration. The English 41-yard line. Troops trying to keep his balance, rolling, looking to throw. He's got McDonald wide open underneath. Makes a move along the sidelines, gets hit and knocked down by Kenny Todd, but he picks up a first down.
Nice play by Toops that time. He held on to the ball long enough to make sure McDonald got open downfield. And then he got a good downfield block by Jermaine Satterwhite to spring McDonald for another 5 yards. And that combination worked again here in the second half. It was very effective in the first half. Toops to McDonald. For the first time this half, they connect.
English on the defense, trying to stop the Salem Witches. Conley straight up the middle. Bounces off a couple of players inside the 20-yard line. And Conley running very hard on that play. Down to the 19, picks up 8.
And take a look at McDonald leading the way there. He just nailed a few English players to set that out. McDonald got a piece of Pete Liccardi.
Second down and 2, and they're picking up big chunks of yardage. So it makes it a little bit easier on 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2. The give to Conley, straight up the middle, stays on his feet, down to about the 11-yard line. And remember, this is all after Salem punted. And English had too many men on the field, we think. The ball is at the 11-yard line, so they can pick up a first down. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 11. The Bulldogs trying to stem the tide of the Witches. Troops with the give to Conley. Not going to get away from Licciardi this time, but he still was able to drag him for about a yard.
Nice job by Licciardi that time, though. He got into the backfield. And Connolly, a big, strong back. And there's a good look at Licciardi.
You see, we mentioned a couple of times in English telecast that they're a little reluctant to give out that 33 because what it meant to Todd Gilbert. And Todd wore that for 40 straight games for English. I don't think that record will ever be matched. But they gave it to Pete Licciardi. He's doing a tremendous job. He's been playing just great football for English. Troops with the keep. Trying to get outside. Dances his way to about the 6. They mark it down to, we'll call it the 7-yard line.
Toops got a downfield block by McDonald that time. These guys are going to become best friends the way they're playing together. McDonald leading the way for Toops, passing together. It's been an effective combination.
We'll look for Conley up the middle this time. Big splits up front by Salem. The give to Conley. Dives forward. Spofford with the tackle. The entire English defense guessed Scott Conley too. They guessed right. He gets the nose of the football inside the 5-yard line.
With a 4th down play here, it's going to be interesting.
It's a big play for Salem. Salem's going to call a timeout and talk about it. They got to get to just about the 1-yard line, and just inside yard line. And this could be the ball game right here. 7:19 showing on the clock. See George McDonald. He's going to be a tired young man tomorrow.
Well, all he's done is thrown a touchdown pass, catch about 5,
and block on every, and when he didn't catch, he was blocking on every single play, and make a few tackles besides. He's had an outstanding ball game.
This game has been an outstanding ball game.
It certainly has, and now it's coming down to just the way most people, as we keep, I hate to keep beating a dead horse, but everybody thought the defense would be the difference. And here in the second half, the defense, they must have had a lot of talks about it at halftime. And you see George McDonald being looked at, taking a rest. Probably saying, give us one more big block so we can at least pick up the first down. They need almost 4 yards. It's a short 4, but a very long 3. And you see the entire English bench on the sideline. All looking. And what you have to worry about here, Jerry, I would think, is Joey Toops going wide, because if you look for Conley up the middle and they fake it, Toops could walk in if he goes outside.
That'll spread out the defense also.
And we'll look and see here. Everybody in tight. Toops with the fake, rolling, looking to throw. Loses the football, it's on the ground. It doesn't make a difference who recovers it. It'll be English football. He looked like he was switching hands with the football, and as he did, the ball just popped loose. He could have either thrown or ran with it, and the ball just popped right out of his hand. And the ball is at the 4-yard line. And here you see the replay. There's Toops rolling, looking to throw. As he cuts inside, looked like it was stripped away by one of the Bulldogs. Just punched it away, and the Bulldogs have it at their own, we'll call it the 5-yard line. Warren trying to get some room.
What a time for Salem to have their first turnover with the ball on the 4-yard line of Lynn English. Here's a look at first-year coach Gary Maleo.
Gary Maleo's doing an excellent job. It's a good situation to commit to. He knew the kids. It was an excellent choice for English to make. I don't think they could have made any other choice. He's got an excellent coaching staff to go with him, as Kenny Perone has had over his many years. This is Vaughn trying to get to the outside. One man to beat. He's loose. There's the speed coming into play. They're not going to get him. He's going to go all the way for it. Now he almost looked like he pulled up lame. Now he breaks it to the inside and goes in for the touchdown. 94 yards by Brian Vaughn.
Wow. They had him back at the 15-yard line, and he just broke the tackle and kept going. 96 yards for Brian Vaughn, his 3rd touchdown of the game.
Yeah, what a turn of events. Salem is driving, they get down close, they get a shot. When they need a 4th, they're in close, and there's Brian Vaughn. And just as I was about to say he was breaking away and going, it looked like he turned up lame or pulled a muscle or something. He started to cramp up a little bit, I believe. And here you're going to see it. I'm not going to say a word. Just watch and enjoy.
He started to tire a little bit at the 25-yard line, and he was thinking all the way. He pumped it back into the middle of the field.
What can you say? That's just 94 yards. Just a great running back. And what a turn of events.
Salem with the ball on the
6:25 left.
line.
Salem driving, looking to get the points that would tie, and a 2-point conversion, probably maybe winning it. And instead of that, English now jumps out in front. Snap is too high. Looking around with the football is Vasquez. He's not going to get there.
Well, obviously that's a huge morale boost for English. And that's tough to overcome for Salem. When they had the ball on the 4-yard line of English and they fumble it away, 2 plays later, Brian Vaughn, 96 yards up the sideline. We're going to take a look at it one more time. And right there, Toops could have had him about the 18-yard line.
And right there, Jerry, was where he started to pull away, and right there was where he looked like he might start to cramp up a little bit. And we saw him laid out in the field. He was exhausted after that run. You can't play him with all those pads. But what a great run. And I saw one that was a little bit better than that. Not as exciting as that. Steve Dembowski one year at Gloucester, we saw him from the 1-yard line, inside the 1-yard line, went 99 yards on the last play before the half. He just went straight up the middle and busted it, and he was wide open from the 50. This was a foot race, and Brian Vaughn showed his ability to break tackles, to get to the outside, and to use that great speed of his. And then presence of mind when the speed was kind of giving up on him, to cut it back to the inside and pull away from runners, so they were never able to really take a shot at tackling them. A very heads-up 94-yard run.
And Lynn English has got to be close to the 300-yard mark rushing as a team.
The football bounced around and almost recovered by English.
We don't have the updated stats, but I'd say Vaughn is very close to 200 yards rushing now for the game. He had 82 the first half. Add that 96-yard run.
Yeah, I would say he's well over 200. So Salem will have the football. They'll have it at their 39-yard line. But people are just sitting here, and we've gone this far, Jerry, without mentioning, an excellent crowd here.
Very good crowd.
A good crowd.
Great night for football, terrific weather, and a terrific ball game to see.
Joey Toops looking to throw the football. Under pressure, runs away from it. Going to take a hit and get knocked down. He still bounces off and goes forward. Now, and there's a perfect example of what I'm talking about, Jerry. He did quite a bit athletically on that play, and all he did was get back to the line of scrimmage.
As you can see the pursuit, he's got 3 players he's trying to beat. That's awful tough.
Good open field tackle by Brian Barrett.
Ken Perrone said before the game, as far as losing the 2 players, we aren't going to hang our heads and feel sorry for themselves. I'm sure they're not going to feel sorry for themselves here. They're going to keep playing tough and not give up.
This is Conley going in motion. Toops quickly over the middle to McDonald. That play has been there all day. It's a first down. They're down to the English, we'll call it the 42-yard line.
McDonald's got the build of a tight end, 6'3", 212. And that play, as you said, does work again. It's been there all night. It has been an effective play.
I got to tell you, too, that the guys up front for Salem did an excellent job that time. Lachardi was blitzing on the play, and you saw how much time Toops had to just stand up and look. And they picked up the blitz, and they picked up the oncoming lineman and gave Toops the time to throw the football. Toops again, a shot drop over the middle. This time is Canny. Can't hold on.
That was another nice play by Toops. Now a lot of plays we've seen him run around and scramble, but now he's setting back, dropping, and he's throwing the ball well.
Well, his line has given some time now the last couple of times to throw the football. He's been able to step back and pick out the secondary receiver if the first one has not been open.
Some of the guys like Poirier, Meller, Derek Terry, Brett Heffernan, they're doing a good job in the line.
Direct snap, Toops. This is the end around by Conley. Looking for a block. Carries a couple of people with him. He picks up the first down to about the 36-yard line.
That was your old Statue of Liberty play.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Terry.
Kenny Perrone pulling all the plays out. Pretending he's passing. Connolly gets a hold of it, breaks one tackle, puts his head down and just keeps charging.
And he is bounces off a couple of those walls and just keeps right on going. He's a very tough runner. Good, hard football player.
Salem's really got to hurry up. They've only got 4.5 minutes.
I'm almost surprised he didn't go to the no-huddle offense and just maybe call a couple plays at a time. Toops rolling, and he had no intention of throwing that football. I could tell by the way he pumped a couple of times. He was going to run all the way. That was the design play for Toops to run the football. He got around the corner, but English does a nice job of picking him up.
But not before Jeff Shea buried a Bulldog lineman.
He picked up 4, we'll call it second down, and we'll actually call it 7, pick up of 3. Spofford did a nice job making the tackle.
20 seconds.
Salem trying to get a man off the field quickly. They finally get it. And now everybody moved and everybody was going, and the center forgot to snap the football. So we were going this far without mentioning, we mentioned Salem giving Toops some pretty good time. English, Vaughn piling up those 200 yards rushing. Those guys up front are doing yeoman job. I see Brum and Barrett and Tiggs and people like that. They're really doing an outstanding job up front.
Yeah, I mean, I think any running back is going to tell you that a key to any of their success is their front line, opening up the holes for them. And the English Bulldogs really have done a good job opening up holes, although that 96-yard run was a lot of Brian Vaughn.
Toops throwing the ball downfield. Caught and dropped. Dakotas had it, dropped it. can talk about Kempton, Dunn, Donahue, Barrett, Brum, Dakopoulos, Tiggs, Mahoney. Just outstanding job up front. Spofford on defense, playing defensive lineman, playing in the secondary, has been outstanding. An excellent team effort by the Bulldogs, defensively and offensively. Toops rolling, trying to drop back to give himself some time, has to get it off now. Finds Scott Conley, stays in bounds, does a nice job of coming close to making the first down.
That extra effort is going to be see if that did it for him.
We not only stayed along the sidelines in bounds, but kept those legs going and kept pushing forward, trying to make the first down. Excellent play by Scott Conley, and a good job by Joey Toops finding him. And we're going to get a measurement along the sidelines. Here you see the replay here.
And there was no way he could run out of bounds to save time because he needed those extra yards to get the first down.
He just got off. See him there, just put his head down, barreling forward, and staying in bounds. So he had two good plays. Getting close to the first down yardage, and also staying in bounds.
Well, the scoreboard's optimistic. They have a first down. It's going to be first down either way.
I have to mention that's the famous Bob Dwyer, who carried the stake all the way out there. And Bob Dwyer is just outstanding. He comes here and runs the stakes for this. He handles Pop Warner. I have to get in that he's on the Hoffman Jamboree Committee. He's here for Lynn Tech games. Anytime there's anything here, any kids involved, Bob Dwyer is there. Tremendous person to have on your side. And well, the Hoffmans are certainly glad to have him. I know that. He was the gentleman in the Pop Warner jacket out there with the stake as they measured it. They got the first down. 3:37 left, and all you can think of is Salem's going to try and get it in and look for an onside kick. But they were down here before and didn't get it in, and it cost them when Vaughn went 94 yards. Toops rolling to his right. Lobs it up downfield. We got a flag. I'm not sure what the flag is for. The ball was in the air and the flag was thrown. It was in the secondary. All we can do is wait for Donnie January to give us a sign. The interference against Salem. That's why the guy looked like he was wide open to the outside. He gave a little bump going to the inside. So it's going to cost him. And it's a big one. So it's all the way back to the 40-yard line.
Second and 25, John.
Makes it tough here, especially when it's second and 25 and you got 3:31 left and you need 2 scores. And when you're going up against a very tough defensive unit like this team, the English Bulldogs.
Kenny Perone, looking at that extensive list of players he's got to deal with, shuffling around with his 2 injuries. See what he can come up there.
I see young Mike Zimorowski out there now. He had a big touchdown and intercepted a pass and ran it back for the JVs. So that some of the JVs getting some play in here for the Bulldogs. Gary Millay getting a lot of people a lot of time. What a big defensive play here by Spofford. Dave Spofford read it perfectly. It was either a guard or a tackle that pulled that was going to leave Toops around. And Spofford just said, thank you very much. I'm going through the hole you just opened up. And Toops never had the chance. Here he is right here in the backfield. No chance for Toops to do anything.
Nice job by the senior captain for Lynn English. He was in there awful quick. Gary Millay, we're taking a look at him. He said before the season, hey, I'd be happy with a 500 season. We've lost 21 starters from last year. He could be going 3-0.
It certainly looks like it from here. Toops with plenty of time, rolling, can't find a receiver, has to cut upfield. Gets hit and knocked down as he crosses inside the 45 to about the 43. And English did an excellent job of shutting off all the receivers. Joey Toops on the move, couldn't find anybody. Good pressure up front, good defense in the secondary by the Bulldogs. And a Salem player down. So it's going to be 4th down. The ball is at the English 43-yard line as Toops picked up 3 on the play. With only 2:34 left, Salem they don't have a choice. Normally you might see Kenny Perrone kick it deep and try to let his defense create a turnover, but with 2:34 left, you need 2 scores. They've got to go for it. And I would assume they're going to look for George McDonald.
They're working on the left leg of Brett Heffernan. You can see him holding his knee.
And they're going to, you don't like to see this. You don't like to see him being helped off the field. Kenny Perrone has got he's saying to himself, my God, what's happening here? He's got people with appendicitis and broken legs, and he's losing people left and right. And we can only hope that that's not going to be anything too serious. And Brett Heffernan is going to be able to get back in, maybe not this ball game, but certainly the next ball game.
It really is amazing what's happened to Salem as far as the injury front goes.
Oh, that's for sure. You couldn't have written a book.
Even their trainers can't avoid it.
Yeah, they may have to hire a couple of more trainers, the way they're going. McDonald in the slot, Candy to the near side, Toops. The pass out to McDonald. Looking to throw, under a lot of pressure, and gets hit and knocked down. Todd was there. Dakopoulos was there, and he had no chance at all to throw the football, and English takes over.
Dakopoulos read that play the whole way. He wasn't fooled one bit. He was charging after McDonald that entire play, and McDonald didn't have a chance to get it off.
So English will take over at their 47-yard line. 2:13 left. Here you see the replay, and he had no chance at all. Todd and Dakopoulos with Tiggs finishing him off. And it's been outstanding defensive effort by the Bulldogs, Jerry.
Especially here in the second half.
To give to Vaughn off the right side. Just keeps adding to his stats. The Salem 48-yard line. And we got a stoppage down the field for the 2-minute warning, I believe. And Jerry, we started something on Sports Weekly, the Player of the Week award. And I'm going out on a limb and say Brian Vaughn's got one leg up and one arm of the trophy in his back pocket right now. Over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. Just an outstanding night for a fine young man.
We've got some ball games to go.
We've got a lot of games to go, but if they're going to match this performance, they're going to have to do something. That's why I just said he's only got one arm of the trophy in his back pocket.
It really is a great performance by Vaughn, too. You figure last week Danvers did a nice job. They held him to 47 yards, which is almost unheard of for a guy like Vaughn, and he comes back here.
And you know people are keying on him. I mean, you know that they know that if we stop him, we get a good chance of beating English, even though the other people have come across. But that's why I give a lot of credit, I'm sure Brian would too, to the front line up there. They're doing an excellent job. Vaughn, off the left side, he's loose again. Him and Toops. Little juke step. Toops finally knocks him out of bounds.
That was a perfect example that you just spoke about the line. He was 10 yards downfield before anybody was even near him. The offensive line was just blowing people open.
He only picked up 30 yards in that play. And here he is. And again, if it's anybody else out there, he beats him to the outside. But Toops did a nice job of getting a good angle and running him to the sidelines and knocking him out of bounds.
Toops deserved one of those Frosty pizzas just for all the time he's been out in the field. He's been doing a great job as a safety. He's making a lot of tackles.
Vaughn takes a big hit and just keeps right on going. What's that commercial? Keeps a licking, keeps on ticking. Picks up a couple to the 16, but he's really adding to those stats.
Vaughn's actually going to come out here. Take a little breather.
1:17 and counting left in the ball game. English at the 16-yard line of the Witches. And that was Lachardi, his first carry.
Well, Saugus, going into this game, Saugus and English were the only teams undefeated in the conference. And we're not sure how Saugus will make out, but English is certainly going to remain undefeated. And going into the year, you had to wonder with Gary Maleo saying, hey, we'll be happy to be 500, but they haven't done anything to prove that they're not a quality team.
I don't think anybody expected the other people to come as quick as they did. Vaughn carries somebody all the way down near the 5-yard line. What a tremendous performance by the young man for a first down.
The thing is, too, if he has to, he can just put his head down and run over people. He doesn't have to make the Duke's fancy moves. If he's meeting a defender, he'll just put his head down and he can run over people also.
He picks up 11 more, and with the clock running, English may just stay in the huddle and not bother running a play. English is just sitting there, sitting back. The clock runs down to 4 seconds. The clock actually shows 0, but the flag is up. English took too much time in the huddle. They're going to have to run a play. So the clock says 0, but it's not over yet. When they mark the football, it will be the last play. Chris Warren will take the snap, and all he's going to do is go down on one knee. And John, the clock runs out.
How's this for a night for Vaughn? 21 carries, 235 yards.
Is that all he did? And 3 touchdowns. That was the last play of the ball game. Again, the clock was a little bit off, but we won't criticize Ray Latour for that. But a big second half defensively for the Bulldogs, and the highlight of the second half, of course, a 94-yard run by Brian Vaughn. But a tremendous football game, and I've said this before, each and every week, a few more things show for the Bulldogs, Jerry. They start seeing things. Mark Nickerson came to life a little bit in tonight's game, show them that they've got another weapon. They know they got 2 good outside receivers in Vasquez and Todd. Warren has been immense. He's really coming on stronger and stronger. He's an excellent quarterback. And with Vaughn and this defense of English, they're going to be tough.
Well, defense, is the old saying is defense wins football games, and they're playing defense just about as well as anybody could in the second half. There was that one drive by Salem, and that's going to be something Ken Perone is going to talk about when they had the ball down at the 4-yard line. In the fumble, Lynn English gets the ball back. 2 plays later, Vaughn takes off 94 yards for a touchdown. So that's going to be that's obviously a key play in the game. But if you look at the whole picture in the second half, there's Gary Maleo running off the field. They just played terrific defense.
The story of the defense was in the second half, especially the last play. It was still 21-14. Salem would have had to gone for 2 to go for the win if they did get the touchdown. Troops goes wide. He exposes the